Well, hello, and welcome back to the Fermenters World Homebrew channel. Today, we're making a lager. Pretty standard. It's going to have Pils, Munich, Carapils, and Vienna. And we're going to have some Hallertau Mittelfrüh, if that's how you pronounce it. Mittelfrüh, maybe. And some Saaz, using a Bohemian lager yeast by Mangrove Jacks. Now, you probably know lagers need to ferment at lower temperatures. That's just because that is where they're happy, and yeah, that's just how we're going to do it. This is usable for a number of different types of brew. A Baltic porter, which is a porter brewed at a lower temperature. I'm yet to do one of those, so watch this space. Might get one going with the next lot of ingredients I buy. It also says American style lagers. So yeah, that's what we are rock and rolling with. I've already got my water chemistry stuff in there. I'm going to fill this up with some water. We're going to speed the whole process up unless there's anything I feel like I need to say. But yeah, let's get this on. I did have other plans today, but I'm feeling a little bit ropey, so I'm not feeling 100%. So I thought, well, this is what we're supposed to be doing tomorrow. So I'm going to do this today, and whatever I was supposed to be doing tomorrow, today, I'll do then tomorrow. Messed that up, didn't I? But you know what I mean. So yeah, let's get some water in here. We're going to go for the normal strike water, 11 and 4, possibly 5 for the, how big's the grain bill? Probably just under 2.5 kilograms. I might put some dark candy in, so have a dark lager. Not a black lager, a dark lager. I did do a black lager before, but it wasn't my own recipe. It was one of the kits that you buy from Brew suppliers. They come like this. They come pretty much all in one bag, all the different grains that you've ordered and stuff. But it's it gives you the specific amounts of hops, which they are good in that respect. And I forgot my microphone, so hopefully I remember when I do come back. But yeah, let's get this on and brew a bloody lager. Okie dokie. Mash is done. We've drained the wort out of the grain. We have sparged. So now it's time to do the boil. We've got some different hops going in. Where's the recipe? Something's made that wet there. Not good. So in comes with the hops. We've got the Hallertau Mittelfrüh, if that's how you pronounce it. That's how I'm pronouncing it anyway. We've got 2 lots of that going in. One at 60 minutes, one at 15 minutes. We've got some proctafloc going in at the same time as that second lot of the Hallertau. And then we've got some Saaz going in. And we'll get this chilled at that point. And it's going to be chilled quite a lot. We'll do most of it with the immersion cooler, but it will have to go in the fridge for a short period of time. It's going to be brewed in the fridge. I've got a beer fridge out there, which I use just for conditioning beers, brewing lagers, and soon to be a Baltic porter. So if you've got this far in the video, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All that's left to do now, as you very well know, is a brew day beer. We've done all the hard work. The rest of it's pretty simple. So I'm going to crack a beer. I'm going to let that come to the boil. This is my wheat beer that's supposed to be a marmalade wheat beer, but the marmalade or orange doesn't really come through enough for you to notice it. It comes through, but just not enough to notice it. So I've got my beer. Quick slurp. Now, this is a lager that has had some roasted barley put into it. So we've changed the colour profile completely. It is no longer lager looking. It's more like a very piss weak brown ale. But that's what I wanted. I wanted a dirty lager. I'm going to call it muddy water. Just because it looks like muddy water. Simple really, isn't it? But yeah, going to bring this up to the boil. We're going to set our alarms for the hop additions. They'll be listed in the description as always. Okay, so we're at the 80s now. It's coming up to the boil. It's at 80 odd degrees. I just wanted to show you why I do this. What it does is it just allows that last little couple of trickles. Now there's about 250 ml there, which isn't a great deal, but when you're doing small batches, you kind of want that extra in, to be able to drink it. Eventually that probably could amount to about a bottle. I mean, it's still dripping through. What I'll do is when this is already boiling, I'll then pop that in, but that'll just sit over here for now. Yeah, so we'll be back when this is on the boil, and we're going to get some hops in, which I am going to weigh out now, actually. Not sure what that's had in it. I don't think that was the thing I used earlier on. That's got some randoms in. Might as well do it while I'm on camera. We're going in with the Hallertau. Hallertau. I don't flipping know. Mittelfrüh. I've got a clue. And I have dictated that this will be 20 grams. It seems a little bit high, but this is only an alpha acid of 4.0, so there's hardly any bitterness in there anyway. And I forgot to turn the bloody light on. Because I am a noob. So 20 grams of this. You know what, it really annoys me that I've still got some left. So yeah, 20 grams of that, and hopefully we've got 15 left in there. Just quick weigh. No, we don't. We have 10. Okay, so we're going to do 10 instead of 15. Simple as that. For the second part of it, that gets that used up. So we've got 20 for the boil. That'll go in once this is boiling. In fact, no, it's going in now. Because what that'll do is it'll bring it slowly to a boil. And because sometimes when you add it to what's already boiling, it then sends it over. Okay, so we are nearly at the point where we're going to be putting this next lot of hops in. Now, when I weighed it earlier on, I weighed it without the tub that was on it before. So I do actually have enough hops for this. So we are going to be doing the 15 of the Hallertau Mittelfrüh. That's what I'm going to say it's called. It's bloody close enough, I'm sure. So what have we got left of this? Do you know what? We've got 20 grams of it, and I have no other beers that are going to need it, so I'm putting the extra 5 in just because it just needs using, really. So in that goes. And we need to add a proctafloc tablet, or half of a proctafloc, wherever the sodding hell I put them. Where is the proctafloc? There it is. So I only use half because that is all that is needed. I'm only doing a half batch. So, you know, economy. I mean, things are bloody expensive enough as it is. Like, I'm sure everywhere is the same. You know, even your food bills these days, flipping heck. You know, you do a shop for 5 people and it's like, where's the food? You know, where's the 100 and something pounds worth of flipping food? Make sure we're getting that hops mixed in and it's not just sitting on the surface. Now, I have to say, this kitchen smells fantastic. I love it. The kids don't. They always complain when they come back. But such is life. I do this so that we have more money for other stuff, like, you know, going on holiday and, you know, days out and stuff. Recently went to a place called the Heights of Abraham in Matlock. It was really, really cool. First time navigating the train network, so that was good. It was a bit different, but, you know, we figured it out and we got where we needed to go and got back okay, which was nice. So this has got 15 minutes. And we've got another hop addition going in, which is going to be 15 grams of Saaz. Saaz. So we'll weigh that out now so that it's ready. And then that can go back in the freezer because there's still a fair bit left of that. So I need to adjust the recipe for it to be 20 grams instead of 15 grams on the second hop lot. And this is going to be fermented at around 12 degrees. But we'll be back in about 11 minutes to sort out that hops going in. That's only going in for 1 minute. For a bit of aroma. So we'll be back then. Okay, so final hops going in. Set the alarm for 1 minute. In it goes. 1 minute. And after that minute, we're going to be moving it over to here. We're going to be cooling this down as cool as possible. Probably get it to about the 20 mark and then put it in the fridge in there. Doesn't really cool any lesser than that. Just takes way too flipping long. So that's where we're at with that. I've got my immersion cooler here, which is literally just a copper pipe in a coil with some hose attachments on it. That goes onto the tap. That drops into the sink. Cold water goes around there. Easy peasy. Oh, I've clicked 1 hour instead of thingy. So yeah, that's the minute done. Clicked 1 hour instead of 1 minute. I was thinking, why isn't it done? You know? Okay. So now that comes over here. And that goes in there. Open that up. Put it on the tap. Try not to sever my thumb on the Jubilee clip. And we turn it on. So the water that's going to come out of there is going to be very hot to begin with. And we'll be back once that has cooled down a little bit. I estimate around 25 to 30 minutes. We'll come back and check it. Right, so we're just filtering out the hops now. It's cooled down to 20 degrees. It's going to go in the beer fridge for about an hour. Hopefully that gives us the temperature that I want. I'm struggling to get it any lower than it is. It's at the 20 degrees-ish mark, between 20 and 18. But with the temperature of the water coming through it, it's not all that much different to what the flipping air is in here anyway. So we're not really making any difference quickly. So to save water, I'm going to put it into the fridge, which is where it's going to go. It's going to sit in there for an hour. Hopefully that'll bring it right down to around the 12 mark, which is where I want to ferment at. And yeah, that's where we're at. So we'll be back once this is finished draining it out, and we'll put it in the fridge. So this next step, some might say don't do it, but I always do. And I've never really had much of a problem. Now, once you get to the end of it, it's really going to slow down with the dripping. So what we're going to do is we're going to force the liquid out. There's probably half a litre in there. We've got nearly 11 litres. I want it to be as close as the 11.5 as possible. I mean, we've paid for it, so why not try and get it out there? Now, once I did actually split one of these bags. I was trying to get so much out of it, the bag split, which then dumped a load of hops in there, which was not good. As you can see, it's like a golden brown liquid, as you saw earlier on from the picture I put up. I'm not expecting the roasted barley to give it much of a taste. It could, ever so slightly, give it a bit of a taste, roastedness. But, you know, if it does, it does. I wasn't actually going to put it in to begin with, and I thought, you know what? Instead of just doing another lager, let's do a brown lager. Because I can. I'm not even sure if it's a style. Bloody is now. People will be going into pubs like, do you have any brown lagers? Everyone's like, no, sorry, we don't. What do you have that's brown? It's still coming. All I'm doing is applying a little bit of pressure by twisting it and then squeezing it. Not that hard. And there we go. I'm saying that's that. So I've already set the fridge up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the airlock and the lid on to make sure that we don't get any contaminants in there. We'll leave that for an hour. We'll come back. We'll check what the temperature is. Now, pitching the yeast a little bit early at a higher temperature isn't really a bother. Done it many times before, but ideally, you want to do it bob on. You want to do it bang on where you want it to be, because then it's set up in the environment that it's going to be in, if you get what I'm saying, which means it'll make it a lot happier. So just loosely pop that down, tilt that forward to get rid of the air that's in the lid, and we're going to be off to pop this into the fridge. So we'll give that about an hour in the fridge, and we'll be back to see what temperature it's at, which is good because my lad has just come in and says he wants to go to the park. So we're off to the park, kill an hour, kick a football around, and we'll be back to see what's crack-a-lacking. Okay, so we've had that in the fridge. It is now down to 15 degrees, between 15 and 16. Obviously, we had it covered over in the fridge, cooling down with a ink bird controlling the heat. Oh, nearly lost it. So it's been cooling nicely. So what we're going to do now is, I did put the packet of yeast in there with it. So we're going to pitch the yeast. It's a little bit warmer than it is going to be fermenting, but that's fine. Not too bothered. Going to get half the packet in there. And then we'll seal that off and pop that back in the fridge. And that'll be good for a couple of weeks at least. Laying dormant. Now to mix that in and get some oxygen in there. And then after this, I've got to cook some dinner. Give it a really good mix, get some oxygen in there as well. Like that. I washed the pan up earlier on actually, because I thought, well, while I've got the bloody time to do it, I might as well. In goes the digital hydrometer, which we will set up in a second. But now I need to double check the gravity, which I should have done really before I added loads of oxygen to it. But it should be around the same anyway. Was it 52 or just above, as it did look? Yeah, 52. The digital one might tell us that it's 53, but we'll go with 52. Possibly a potential to give us around a 5.2 if it goes to down to 1.012. That's perfectly fine with me. And that is it. It's going to go in the fridge. It's going to ferment in there. We'll get it labelled up as to what it is. And we'll probably check on this in about 3 days. See where the hydrometer says that it's at. And then go from there. I believe there will be a time where we heat it up to at some point and then lower it again. I'm sure that you do that with a lager. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember, but I know you do something with lagers where you heat it back up and then bring it back down. I don't know why. but I know that you do. So we'll be back when this is ready to be bottled. Until then, take it easy. I'll see you all soon.